The battle was lost, hope was gone, until the ruthless humans arrived. Zara pressed her back against the cold metal wall as explosions shook the station around her. The Vex had broken through the outer defenses, and now their ships filled the void. Outside like angry hornets, their weapons tore through the hull, sending sparks and debris flying through the corridors. Commander Lixa ran past with her remaining soldiers, their blue skin pale with exhaustion and fear. They had been fighting for 3 days without rest. The elegant Zephyrian fleet that once protected their home system was nothing but floating wreckage now. Maya, the station's communications officer, looked up from her console with tears in her golden eyes. The distress signal had been broadcasting for hours, but no help was coming. The other civilized races had already fallen or fled to the outer rim. The Vex expansion seemed unstoppable. Zara watched through the observation deck as another Zephyrian cruiser exploded in brilliant white light. That was the last of their heavy ships. Now only the station remained between the Vex and their homeworld below, where millions of innocent lives waited. The station shuddered again as Vex boarding pods attached to the hull. Like parasites, Zara could hear the cutting tools starting to work through the armor. Soon they would pour in with their terrible weapons. And cold, emotionless faces. Lixa's voice crackled over the intercom, all remaining personnel to defensive positions. This is our last stand. We die with honor. But Maya suddenly straightened at her console. Wait, something is happening. The long-range sensors are picking up new contacts. Jumping into the system, Zara rushed to the tactical display, expecting to see more Vex reinforcements. Instead, she saw something impossible. Ships unlike anything in their database were appearing in flashes of blue light. They were smaller than Vex dreadnoughts, but there were so many of them. The lead ship opened communications, and a strange voice filled the bridge. This is Captain Lisa Martinez of the human vessel. Defiance, we received your distress call. Stand by for immediate assistance. Human Zara had never heard that word before. Who were these newcomers, and why would they risk themselves for strangers? The human ships moved with frightening speed and precision. Their weapons were different too. Instead of the energy beams most civilizations used, they fired solid projectiles that punched through Vex armor like paper. The lead human ship dove straight into the center of the Vex formation with no regard for its own safety. Captain Martinez's voice came through again. All Zephyrian forces pull back to minimum safe distance. We are going loud. What followed was unlike any space battle Zara had ever witnessed. The humans fought with a savage intensity that made the Vex look cautious. Their ships took damage that would cripple other vessels, but kept fighting. They rammed enemy ships when their weapons ran dry. They used debris as improvised weapons. One human destroyer was cut in half by Vex fire, but its forward section continued attacking until it finally went dark. Another ship with its engines destroyed used thrusters to spin wildly while firing, in all directions like a deadly pinwheel. The Vex, who had seemed so unstoppable, began to retreat. Their organized formations broke apart as human ships tore through them with reckless abandon. The humans seemed to have no fear of death and fought like cornered animals. Within an hour, the massive Vex fleet was either destroyed or fleeing. The humans had saved them, but at terrible cost. Many human ships were badly damaged or destroyed. The survivors limped toward the station with hull breaches and failing systems. Zara met Captain Martinez in the docking bay. The human was smaller than she expected, with short brown hair and scars on her face. Her uniform was torn and bloody, but her eyes burned with fierce determination. Your people fought like demons, Zara said. Why did you help us? You do not even know us. Martinez smiled grimly. We heard your distress call. No one deserves to face the Vex alone. Besides, we have our own score to settle with them. They hit our colonies last month. Over the next few days, more human ships arrived. Some carried medical supplies and repair equipment. Others were massive warships that made the Vex dreadnoughts look small. The humans called them battleships, and they bristled with more weapons than Zara thought possible. She learned that humans were newcomers to space travel. They had only developed faster than light travel 50 years ago, but they had been fighting wars among themselves for thousands of years. They knew violence in ways that peaceful. Civilizations could not imagine. Lieutenant Amy Johnson explained it while helping repair the station shields. We grew up on a world where everything tried to kill us. Predators, diseases, natural disasters, war. We had to become tough to survive. When we reached the stars, we found the galaxy was just as dangerous. The humans established a base on the station's lower levels. They worked tirelessly to strengthen the defenses and train Zephyrian forces in human combat tactics. Zara watched them teach her people to fight dirty, to use the environment as a weapon, to never give up. Commander Lixa was amazed at the human approach to warfare. They do not follow the civilized rules of engagement. They use deception, ambush tactics, psychological warfare. It should be barbaric, but it works. The humans brought new weapons too. Kinetic cannons that fired solid slugs at incredible speeds. Nuclear missiles that could crack planets. Plasma weapons that burned hotter than stars. They had turned war into a science. But it was not just their technology that impressed Zara. It was their spirit. When faced with impossible odds, they did not surrender or negotiate. They became more dangerous. They fought harder. They found ways to win that others could not. Imagine Colonel Beth Williams showed her recordings of human history wars that lasted decades. Battles where humans held positions against overwhelming numbers. Cities that refused to surrender even when burning around them. We do not know how to quit, she said with pride. It is both our greatest strength and our greatest weakness. We will fight until we win, or until there is nothing left to fight with. 3 months later, when the Vex returned with an even larger fleet, they found something. They did not expect. The Zephyrian system was now a fortress, bristling with human weapons. The space around the planet was filled with mines and automated defense platforms. The battle was brief and devastating. The Vex had not adapted to human tactics fast enough. Their formation broke apart under the combined fire of human and Zephyrian forces. The survivors fled deeper into the galaxy, carrying word of the terrible humans who fought without mercy. Zara stood with Captain Martinez on the bridge of the new defense station, watching the stars. The galaxy had changed now. The other civilizations were learning human ways of war. The tide was turning against the Vex. We saved each other, Martinez said quietly. You gave us allies and a cause worth fighting for. We gave you the strength to defend yourselves as more human fleets arrived to push back the Vex expansion. Zara realized something important. The battle had been lost, and hope had been gone. But the humans had brought both victory and hope back to the galaxy. They were ruthless in war but loyal to their friends. The universe would never be the same.